Oh, there it is.
Okay. Hi,
Here we
everyone.
are.
Yeah, here we are. Dr. Gilbert from Oregon Weight and Wellness, and along with Rachel Matthews,
Hey,
head
everybody.
coach extraordinaire. And hey, how's your grass doing, Rachel? Because
Oh,
mine's really hurting.
it's so dead. We kind of gave up it's like, okay, how much money do we want to pour into this thing
I
to make it
know.
green? When I know the rains are coming, it's Oregon, but wow, we have not had rain in a long time. It's
Yeah,
pretty dry.
I know. I know. I have to take a day like this and really kind of close my eyes and look at, remember this. This day because December 15th is going to be here. It might be this grizzly day, or even
Yep.
February,
Yeah.
12th. It's going to come. It's going to be this drizzly day. And I'm like, oh,
Remember
sunshine. And here
this.
we are getting blasted with it. Yeah.
Oh, it's been
So,
gorgeous. It has been just the
oh, yeah,
perfect summer.
really has.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
We're doing a lot of yard work out there.
Yeah.
But my husband's figuring out. So we have water rights to waterway. It's the slough,
Oh,
and
uh-huh.
we just got water rights. So he's figuring out how to pump water out of this little slough irrigation ditch. But it's a
Uh-huh.
lake, and to water our stuff across the street. But my
Wow.
poor little hydrangea is like, water, please, water.
Yeah, anything that's flowering is very much struggling because it's just so
Hmm.
warm. Yeah.
Yeah.
How's
You
your
know,
how's
to
your
your
garden? Do
point
you get any
about,
vegetables?
oh yeah,
Oh,
a few. We have a few.
my
It's not,
zucchini up. That's what's up.
yeah,
That's all.
that's
Yeah.
great. That's good. Yeah. So I heard a statistic, and I'll have to check it. I won't spit out any numbers, but the acres and acres of grass that we grow versus farming, um, plants to eat. I mean,
True. What if your entire yard was just a
mhm,
garden rather than grass?
right.
Hmm. Good
Something to think
point.
about. Yeah.
Something to think about
Something
for
to think about.
sure.
Yeah. All right. So here we are. We're talking
Okay.
about healthy habits, eat, move, sleep by Tom Rath,
Hmm.
and I
Yes.
think we're on chapter 15.
Chapter
Planning ahead.
15.
What does he
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
So he's talking about planning ahead. And the first part of it is don't be fooled by the decoy. So he's talking
Mm,
about restaurants and how they lure us in. And you and I were talking about this before we went live, that it's not just restaurants, it's grocery stores, it's product
mm,
placement, but they know they spend a lot of money on research to figure out the behavior and habits of humans.
right.
And they know that if
Yes.
they get you in, they've got you. And
Yeah.
so for restaurants, they know that if the research shows if they advertise that they have a salad or a healthy menu or a healthy option on the menu, then the general public will consider that a healthier choice, a healthier restaurant to go to. And so you'll
Yeah.
choose that over another restaurant. But the truth of the matter is we get there and we oftentimes don't order the healthy thing. We're ordering all the other, processed food that's a lot
Yeah.
cheaper for them to make.
We
Yeah.
pivot.
We pivot.
Hmm.
We get
Hmm.
tempted by the menu, all the pictures in the menu, and we smell, we walk by people's tables and we see what they're eating, and suddenly
Yes.
our
Right. Ooh,
intention to
what's
get the
that?
salad. Yeah, what are you eating? What are you eating? And the intention to get the salad takes a back seat if you haven't really
Yeah.
decided what you're going to do.
Right. Right. So go with a plan in mind. Yeah.
You got to go with a
I
plan in
always,
mind.
yeah, go with a plan in mind. So I'm always trying to think about maybe a lean cut of what, or trying a piece of fish or something that I've never had before, that's
Hmm.
maybe grilled or something like that, and then vegetables salad, and then I always order the dressing on the side.
Yes, that's another great way to plan ahead and to think it through is order that on the side or order there's a couple ideas he gives. Yeah, order it on the side, ask for light dressing, skip the bacon, that's a highly processed meat product. Skip the
Right.
bacon, add another slice of tomato or add some steamed veggies rather than the sauteed laden, those are usually typically just filled with a bunch of bad oils. um,
Right.
or deep fried, skip the deep fried
Yeah.
options. Even little things
Right.
like ask for your sandwich without the mayo. Ask for it with
Mhm.
avocado instead. So little
Mm.
tweaks along the way, and you can really kind of create what you want to eat rather than just be
Mhm.
given whatever it is that's on the menu.
Right. Don't be afraid to order off the menu. That's right. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Good. Yeah, that kind of reminds me. You mentioned the grocery store. I mean, I think there's real estate, and people or companies pay high
Mhm.
dollar for putting their product at at the end cap,
Yep.
or right in a kid's eye view.
Yes.
Mommy.
Right. Yeah. That's exactly right. They know the placement. They know when you first get into the grocery store. And how often do you grocery shop when you're hungry? People do quite often.
Mhm.
End of the
Mhm.
day, you're coming home from work and you're grabbing. And when you walk in there, you're not thinking necessarily, um, you know, um, about just what's on your list, and we can be so easily tempted. And the minute you walk into a grocery store, it's the aisles of soda, it's the all the pastries and the donuts and the quick things on these little tables. And in order to get to the produce, you've got to like bob and weave, around all this
Right.
garbage at the front end. And you have to kind of like, don't look, don't look, don't look, because the
Yeah.
minute
Yeah.
you see it, you're tempted, right? It's like, ooh, that
Right.
looks good,
Right. Yeah,
don't look
yeah.
at it.
Or the grocery stores have, like Costco, but I think I've seen Winco do this too. They are giving you a little sample of it.
Little samples. Yes.
Little sample.
And then all of a sudden you're like, ooh, that's good, I want to get that. And it's not typically a nice beautiful salad that they whipped up. It's typically a processed food that they have in a microwave
Right.
or in a toaster oven, and
Yeah.
not usually the healthiest choices. So
Yeah.
we have to just be so savvy. You've got to be armed and ready to go into the grocery
Mhm.
store. It's not
Mhm.
always a safe environment.
Right.
you know
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
And
All right.
and just
Very good.
I think keeping in mind one thing that helps me is keeping in mind that this is done to manipulate me as a consumer.
Mhm.
And when I know
Mhm.
that, it kind of makes me mad. And I use
Mm.
that anger as fuel to fight back. Like when I walk
Mhm.
in the grocery store, I'm like, oh, you're not getting me. Oh, I'm not buying that. You don't get me. Like it's kind of playful to me, but knowing what the food industry is doing,
Yeah.
knowing what the marketers are doing and
Right.
how they're trying to manipulate my taste buds, I don't want to be
Mhm.
controlled that way. So I kind of fight back, and it feels
Right.
empowering. So the
Yeah.
more you know about the ways
Mhm.
that our food is manipulated, the more you
Right.
kind of wake up and go, oh man, I don't want to participate in that.
Right,
So
right, right. Because
kind of thought.
because that manipulated food, it's engineered to bypass our normal healthy feedback system of hunger and satiety. We
Yeah.
have a hunger and satiety system for our good, for our
Mhm.
health, for our benefit. And those highly processed food, that they bypass that and they go right to another area of the brain, the reward center, dopamine, ding, 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 where you cannot, your brain then can't
Mhm.
hear that the regular hunger and satiety pathways. So
Yeah.
and that kind of thing makes my blood boil. But
Right.
yeah.
That's empowering to know, oh, I'm eating this food that someone designed on purpose to make me eat more and buy more. And yeah, you kind of start to feel, and when we're struggling with weight loss or feeling like we can't get healthy because we can't stop, we're eating the foods that are programming us to not stop.
Mhm. Right.
And
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
All
okay.
right. What's this
Good
next
thought
point?
there. Next point,
Yeah.
structure. Remember, we're planning ahead. So structuring your exercise for enjoyment. He talks about that exercise really is enjoyable, but usually when we think about exercise, we think about those first few minutes. It's hard to
Right.
get your foot out the door. It's hard to get your tennis shoes on. It's hard to get to the gym. And so that's what we think about. But if you look back at the last time you exercised, you will likely think of it with positive feelings. You'll likely go back and go, oh yeah, that felt good to get my walk in, it felt good to go on that bike ride. And so he
Right.
talks about planfully scheduling in to your exercise ways to have enjoyment. So whether you go with a friend or you're talking or you're catching up, or afterwards you have a coffee date with a friend, it kind of connects the positivity of it with the exercise, and you're more likely to want to do it again.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Or you're stacking fun things Yeah, you're stacking fun things on top of something that is beneficial and good, but it's a little harder to do. You're stacking an easier thing like listening to a podcast or some fun music or a book, with the harder beneficial thing of exercise, whether it's a walk or a run. And you know what? I mean, you don't have to go knock it out of the gym. That's what I love about exercise. It doesn't have to be programmatized on a treadmill or, at a gym. I mean, just moving your body, just a walk. A walk. And most people, not everybody, but most people can walk, and maybe they need to invest in a good pair of shoes. But just going on the walk outside, or in the cool of the morning or the evening as it cools down, so beneficial for you. And
even just a couple minutes, like you said, plan to just do the first couple minutes. Don't make it this big thing like, oh man, I've got to walk for 30 minutes or 40. Don't make it so big. I just got to walk for a few minutes. I just got to get my feet out the door. Start there. And I love that stacking, doing something you really enjoy, like listening to a book while you're walking. And I love the idea of new gear. If you're the kind of person who's motivated by that, I love when I get a new pair of tennis shoes. I can't wait to get out and try them out. It's very fun. I'm like, oh, look at how cute my shoes are. I kind of feel fun about it. Like my cute new kicks, and that's motivating for me. And they feel good. And, all of a sudden you feel like you're walking faster and you're like, better posture. And so, look into that. Would it feel good to get that new pair of tennis shoes where you'd feel motivated to use them?
Yeah. So good. Okay. All right. So, and then he talks about a night to remember.
Yeah. So a night to remember, he's talking about sleep. We talk a lot about sleep, of course, but how it's linked with our ability to remember, our ability to categorize and process the information from the day before. And so really, he says, it helps your mind work through the unconscious process, and your brain goes back through the days of events, selects the most pertinent knowledge, and makes key memories reinforced. But when we have poor sleep, our brain doesn't have the opportunity to do that, or at least to the fullest extent.
Yeah, I love the idea that my brain is creating memory while I'm sleeping. And so, I mean, I probably did the exact opposite in college and medical school, where I'm like, oh, I got to cram. And I stayed up later to get the last little bit of nugget, shoving it in my brain somehow. But actually, sleep would have been much more productive.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have been able to get better grades even. I don't know.
Yeah. Was that even possible? Could you even get better grades?
Well, in physics, I could have gotten a better grade.
So the moral of the story is, if you're taking physics, you need to be sleeping.
That's right.
Or you're not going to pass that class.
Yeah. So, I mean, the more you learn about sleep, the more fascinating that becomes.
And so much more valuable. I mean, I just can't afford to not have my sleep. I know too much. I know too much. It's made me dangerous, and I just cannot afford to not get my sleep. And when I do have a bad night, oh man, I know the difference, right? I can feel how much it impacts me. And then it's like, it's such a high value. I'm not willing to sacrifice that. I hope people are getting that as they're hearing us and they're practicing themselves with their sleep, that it is so important on so many levels. We can't even begin to list them off, So important. And everybody knows how they feel when they've had a good night's sleep. I mean, everybody knows that feeling.
Yeah. Ready to, greet a new day.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And, and breathing through your nose while you're sleeping. Very important.
Yeah. There's a lot linked to weight regulation and to health with mouth breathers or nose breathers. There is a difference. Yeah. And even during the day, if you're a mouth breather and not able to breathe through your nose during the day, definitely have that checked out, because that's it's working against you.
Right. Yeah. It's one more hill that you got to conquer. Right.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Well,
Good luck.
what's on your menu for this evening,
Yeah, it's
Rachel?
Thursday.
What's for dinner? Yeah,
We're
it's
gonna
Thursday.
have, yeah, what's for dinner? We're gonna have a house guest, and so it'll probably change a little bit of our normal evening. I've got my night group coach tonight with our patients,
Oh yeah.
so I won't be involved with dinner making. That'll be somebody else's job. Yes. And so I'm guessing it's probably going to be some sort of like a taco bar or a Nourish Bowl bar where lots of
Mm-hmm.
options are available, and then everybody picks, kind of what they want.
Right.
So
Good. Yeah.
it'll have lots of beans. It'll have a healthy whole grain. It'll have tons of veggies as always, and just kind of be a build your own. So that's probably the easiest way to feed this many people.
Right. Oh yeah, I love that. Build your own. That's
Yeah.
great. And yeah, and everybody's happy.
Everybody's happy. Yeah.
Yeah. So
How about you? What's for dinner?
so my son he came back. So he's usually the chief cook. I'm the bottle washer, but he's the chief cook when he's here. So we'll see. He's gonna grill up something. And I saw there was some halibut in there. So there might be some fish. And then my job is to make that big green salad.
Yes.
And
Yum.
and so I'm going to go over to the garden and see if there's any offerings over there, and try to get a little squash or something in there.
Yes.
I think there might be our first zucchini, but I'm not sure. I know we have tomatoes, but anyway, I like to make a little ratatouille sort of deal with yellow, green, tomato, onion. The squashes, and so I might do that as a side dish.
Ooh, and you would roast that or bake it?
What's that?
You would roast or bake it?
Yeah, bake it.
Gotcha.
With I like to put some rosemary and or basil and oregano in there. Yeah.
Yum.
So
yum.
So
I will. The zucchini thing, you just reminded me. So I got my first zucchini out of the garden yesterday, and I need to put it on my salad for lunch because I haven't eaten my lunch yet. So I'm glad you reminded me. But it also reminds me that I've had 2 clients this week surprised to hear that you can eat zucchini raw. And it stopped them in their tracks. Wait, what? I could eat zucchini with hummus? And I said, well, yes, you can. They only thought. And
is there any? Oh, go ahead.
Well, no. It reminds me that we all have such blinders on in our nutrition if we're not aware until we start to talk to other people and get the ideas.
We do what we have grown up with. Yeah. I mean, we don't like broccoli because it's mushy, gushy, ushy. You mean you don't have to cook broccoli till it's dead?
Right.
So you can eat. I think you can eat anything. Any plant can be eaten raw. Now, some people might have better digestion if it's cooked, or better absorption of nutrients with some cooking. But I don't know. There's probably even a potato you can eat raw.
You can eat a potato raw. You can eat onion raw.
Onion.
Yeah, I mean, people put it on their salads, but we put foods in categories and think that that's only a cooked food, or zucchini is only for when I make this one dish. And both people were super excited to try out raw zucchini with hummus or avocado dip or something like that. But it was quite a surprise, and I did bring up that idea too, that all of our vegetables we can eat raw or cooked, and what nutrition we get from them changes if it's raw or slightly cooked, and that's good. We want to do them both ways. You want to eat spinach raw, and you want to eat some steamed or blanched spinach, or spinach in a blender, or spinach in your cooked dish. Try incorporating all the vegetables both ways if you can tolerate it and if you like it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good point. And it's so great that it sounds like these clients were open to new ideas rather than.
Yes, it was so great to hear. They were like, oh, well, I'm going to try that. Yes, try it. If you don't like it, that's okay. Try again later, but try it at least once. Yeah,
that's right. All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your gorgeous day. I'm going to go have lunch too.
Perfect.
And we'll see. Rustle up some grub in there. And but have a great rest of your day.
Okay. Happy lunchtime. Bye, everybody.
Okay. Bye-bye.